7 o'clock and we are recording.
All right, welcome everybody. We're going to open the meeting of the Conservation Commission on November 2nd, 7 o'clock. Our commissioners tonight, we have Chris Pratt, Chair. We have Jerry Patria, Brian Drennan. We have Brian Pranka and Dave McWilliams. Where'd he go? There he is. We also have with us Norm Cheevers from Lake Management. We have our Secretary Jean and Dennis Clark. And we are ready to go. We have any, you'd like to start this off with, Dennis?
Do you, anybody get a chance to review the minutes?
Yep.
Look great.
Yep, they look good.
Yeah, I do have one question. On page 2, where we're talking about Grove Street, 34 Grove Street, we say silt fencing and hay bales. Do we want to say straw bales? Just to be clear.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they use as straw. I'm pretty sure.
I just say that because if someone puts down hay bales and we go out and complain, they may be able to say, well, you guys, it says right in the minutes.
Right.
Hay bale.
Yeah. I agree with that. We'll say straw from now on because that is a common misconstruence, I believe.
No seeds.
Right. And it's cheaper for the.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed. So based on that change, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, do I have a second? Did I get a second?
I'll second.
Hey, Jerry Patrio, what do you say?
Aye.
Dave McWilliams?
Aye.
Brian Drennan?
Aye.
And Brian Pranka was a second, I think.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Very good.
So is 34 Grove Street all set?
Can you hold off on that screen sharing until we're ready for you, please?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that was Dennis that put that up. Yeah, we can't take you, Carla, until 10 after.
Oh, gotcha.
That way, if anybody else wants to show up, we can let them in.
You can, we're advertised, sir, for 7 o'clock or anytime after 7. So the 7:10 notice of
I'm on the
intent,
wrong one. Sorry.
7:10 notice of intent is asked for a continuance. So if you want to just start off with Carla.
We might as well. Well, I mean, we can just get that out of the way. We'll just make sure that we make a motion on the continuation for 115 Fred Jackson Road. I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Let's do the roll call. Dave McWilliams,
Aye.
Brian Drennan,
Aye.
Brian Franka,
Aye.
and myself, yes. Jerry Patria.
Aye.
Okay, so we will continue the 115 Fred Jackson Road in our next meeting. And I guess we could go with Carla now.
We have to read the legal ad. Do you have that in front of you? Do you need that?
I need that. Can you put that up for us?
Okay. Legal ad.
It's a continuation, so we'll read it again. Can you make that bigger for me, Dennis?
Certainly.
Thank you. Uh-oh. There we go. The Southwick Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law C-131, Section 40 of the Southwick Conservation Commission Regulation and Bylaw, Chapter 182 and Chapter 450 for request for determination. The project location is 34 Grove Street, Southwick, Mass. 01077. The project is for the installation of a patio with a 100-foot buffer of Middle Pond. The hearing be held right now, and welcome everyone. Christopher Pratt, Chair of the Commission. Okay. All right, Carla, you had some updates to the plans from last time, I believe.
I did. Yes. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
I can find the right screen to share.
Take your time.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
in the middle of working as well as, here we go. All righty. So the Nick Pandolfi, the contractor, came out, measured out where he will install the erosion barrier, measured it out from the dirt, again, there's a hill here that will go around the front of where the project will be, 39 linear feet. And then he also included the description of the reinforced silt fence that he will be purchasing to install at the base of the project.
Okay. Could you just scroll down for us a little, Carla, so we can see the water's edge as well?
Yep,
That's perfect. Right there is fine. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So no work is going to be done below that silt fence then?
That is
No.
correct. No work below that.
Does anybody have any questions or concerns for Carla?
Was reviewed fairly thoroughly at the last meeting
Right.
for the informal.
Yeah, it looks like all what we requested has been put into the plan now. I'll take a motion.
You're looking for a negative motion on this one to
Correct.
find it negative?
I'll go ahead. I'll make a motion to find a negative determination of the plan.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay,
Jerry Patria seconds.
I beat you.
You did, you got me. I say aye. Ryan Drennan, what do you say?
Aye.
Ryan Franco, what do you say?
Aye.
Okay, we're all in favor. It's unanimous.
Just to clarify, Carla,
Yes, Jean.
you were supposed to send a check in the amount of $75 to the Conservation Commission. The
Okay.
newspaper, the legal ad, they were going to bill you.
Yeah, okay. So I've now sent the Westfield News $150. I'll send
Actually,
75 to-
that should be about the cost of the ad. They've been running about 130 to 150, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
So-
you need 70, because the paper you sent me was to fill out for the ad.
Right, and it said billing information. That means they would bill you directly.
Okay, so I send 75 to the Conservation Committee.
Yes, you need to send a $75 filing fee.
Got
But
it.
it's made out to the town of Southwick, not Conservation Commission.
Right.
I will get that out
Attention, anybody?
tomorrow.
Attention,
Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you all
you.
very much. Have a great night.
Appreciate it. You too. Okay. You ready to go into new business, Dennis?
I got a quick item. We have an RDA coming in for the next meeting for a failed septic system. And
Okay,
I told the installer and I told the client that, we could issue an emergency certification because it is breaking out and it is an emergency, but they don't have the money to fix it right away. So they need to do a RDA, so they have the paperwork that's good for, 3 years, or hopefully it won't take that long to fix it. But they're asking if the commission would waive the $75 filing fee on this particular RDA, because it is an emergency. It's something that he kind of forced to do. I told him I would ask the commissioners if they would be willing to waive the $75 filing fee.
Well, I think it has been done before for other people, so I don't see why we wouldn't do it for these people as well. I mean, kind of a precedent set because they are not initiating the work. But, I mean, we should have a motion made and voted on.
What's the address?
187 Vining Hill.
You might like to make a motion to waive the filing fee of $75.
I'll second that.
Who
I guess
first
I'm-
did it?
I will first it. Yeah, so I kind of initiated that, so we'll go with me. Jerry Patria, what do you say?
Aye.
Dave McWilliams,
Aye.
Brian Drennan,
Aye.
okay. Waive it.
Okay.
Under new business, Chris, we have a request for partial certificate of compliance. It's for the parcel on College Highway that was attached to the Greens East. It never got broken out, separated from that parcel. So the order of conditions, when it was recorded for that piece of property on College Highway that was never intended to be part of the Greens East, but it did get the order of conditions on it. So they're trying to sell the parcel right now. They'd like to get a partial certificate of compliance just for that lot. And they have, the assessor's office has given it its own designation, own street address and map and parcel.
So it
number.
can be separated out, then we can do that. So,
Yeah.
Dennis, where's the lot? Which lot is it? Is it the one towards Westfield on the left?
It's the one that, Mr. Schreier?
It's the 14-acre parcel that's surrounded with an outline on it, on the lower left-hand corner. And there is a
Yes.
separate A&R plan on record.
And it has a separate, it has the open space on either side of it that goes to College Highway.
Holes
Correct.
8 and 9.
So I think it's a more or less a formality at this point because it was never intended to be part of the order of conditions to start with. Is that correct, Mr. Chair? Attorney
That's
Chair?
absolutely correct. Thanks, Dennis.
Okay.
Has any work been done on the property? I mean, is that,
That's the one you see right from the road,
Yeah.
Dave. It's holes 8 and 9, I believe. That where the snack shack would be down near bottom part there.
Oh, okay,
Correct.
okay,
The
okay,
snack
okay.
shack has been removed. That's correct.
Right.
That was on the open space anyway. It wasn't on the actual parcel itself, so. It's Jason Fiore
Right,
from.
right. Yep.
And Mr. Wally has started clearing trees. You've probably seen the trees have come down already. Anxious to clear that property. So I would recommend a partial certificate of compliance if the commissioners are so inclined.
I'll make a motion to accept the partial certificate of compliance for that section of Greens East.
758 and 770 College Highway.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is that Jerry? I can't
Brian.
see all your faces, so. So
Brian
we have
Drennan.
Jerry's a second. Dave McWilliams, what do you say?
Aye.
Ryan Pranka, what do you say?
Aye.
Ryan Drennan, what do you say?
Aye.
Okay, we're all in. Very good. Okay, so now we're down to the conservation restriction for the Greens East subdivision or the
We-
Greens subdivision review.
We do
Wanna
have
read
Jason,
that? Or-
do have Jason Fiore here with us this
Yep.
evening. Answer any questions,
Hi, guys.
Jason?
Right.
Jason.
I guess we were having a little bit of confusion because we were under the impression that the conservation restriction would allow public access for, we thought for all parcels in town. But especially on this one, we thought we had an agreement that would be open to the public. So we were just wondering what happened, I guess.
So this is going back 18 months ago. So my memory of this is a bit hazy. But what I can tell you is that we did consider the idea of having access to it, but the pushback we had was really, especially even on the west side where we do have access to the open space, none of the community was really happy about having that access. In fact, we have multiple people that didn't want it. From either a liability standpoint and a maintenance standpoint, it costs more money than I think it's really worth, and they don't really would prefer not to have people have access to it that are outside of the community at large. So it was really designed for their own, I guess their own, because they do own the land. They do pay the taxes on it. They didn't see the public use for it was really all that necessary. So we brought this to the planning board, and we did ask for a waiver to not have to have access. And we were granted that through whatever process there was at that time. As far as the need for it, we didn't think that there were, at least with the west side, there was a sizable amount of walking space. You're talking 26 plus acres. So it's quite a large area, and there's ATV trails, the whole 9 yards. I thought that one might be actually attractive to walk. This one does have a little cart path area through it, but by the time the actual plan is completed, it's going to be maybe a 15-minute walk. It's not going to be anything of any kind of extent that I think would be nice. There is going to be some wetland area there that needs to be preserved. So we understand that from our perspective, but from a walking perspective, from an attraction perspective, I didn't see it being that good. On a side note, we did convey, because we knew that, well, at the time we were under the impression we didn't have to do any kind of public access. We did allow the individual owner, Wally, that's looking to buy that land. We granted him access to the open space on the right to actually farm, so he can have contiguous land between his farm and the new piece of property. And we granted him that right to, through an easement, to till that land and to farm it. That was done maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. So we weren't planning on having to do this. And when I found out that this was really an issue, 3 weeks ago, that's when I was like, what do we do? How do we solve this? So I'm asking basically for the commission to allow us not to have it, because it's not really that attractive a piece of property, and to allow the planning board to continue with the waiver that was approved back like probably 18 months ago.
So Jason, Dave McWilliams, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. One was, you mentioned that the community members said they didn't want it, but really what we're talking about is a development that houses haven't even been built on yet. So how are the community members voicing their concerns?
I'm going based off of the existence of what the people from the west side said. So
Okay.
when I go to what I would have liked to, I'm making assumptions basically, the fact that I would like to think that a group of individuals buying property on the west that didn't want it would be similar in nature to the group of people on the right.
Yeah. So I guess, and I think I'm a big part of why this whole thing blew up a couple of weeks ago, and it all stems from a site visit that conservation made to that property, and where we walked the boundaries with the folks from Crestview, and it was conveyed to us at the time that it was going to be open space. And we had a long conversation about access to the open space. And my thing was, okay, so this was a conversation that we had. We were told it was going to be public access granted to that space. And when we heard that that was not the case, the question came up of, well, how did this change and why were we not part of that conversation? Because we had what we thought was a verbal agreement. It was going to be allowed public access.
Well, do you mind if I ask? I mean, so I asked my partners at Crestview, they don't recall that conversation that specifically in that way. I just don't know. Was that this year? Was it last year? Or when did that conversation take place?
Dennis, do you know the date of that? I don't know the date offhand.
The pre-construction site visit with Aaron, and that was just before the pandemic.
Okay.
February, January, February.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I mean, the plan's been, the definitive plan was ratified, I want to say June of last year, maybe earlier. I don't even remember the exact date. I think it might have been like.
It was June, Jason.
Yeah, so, I mean, the question here is, I mean, even if he did say that, yeah, there'd be access to it, was implying that there'd be an actual driveway built for it, because the plan was already defined. So, I mean, whether he spoke to that or not is kind of unfortunately, kind of an irrelevant thing. It wasn't something that was part of the definitive plan.
Right. Well, I mean, from the standpoint of a road or what have you, we got into a pretty lengthy discussion about the snack shack and the parking access there. And that was the conversation about where the public access would start from, is from that parcel right there. So, again, listen, I'll be candid with you. I'll never walk that property. I got a legacy of golf balls out there for the next 1,000 years. I don't need to go find them. My bigger concern is I was told one thing and then heard something else. And so I'm just going to call out the person who told me one thing to have them stand up and tell me why they changed their mind. That's my issue.
I think it's more of he made a mistake in misrepresenting what he even knew was real. I don't know. It certainly wasn't meant to deceive. I don't think that was remotely the reality.
Right.
You can call him a boneheaded comment, basically. That's all I would really say it is.
I think the best thing we can do here is move forward and maybe create bylaws in town that would help us to communicate better with developers, that when they do flexible residential settings, we know they know what they're getting into at the time.
I think if you wanted to be, involved in that, I think the best thing to do is anytime that they were going to grant a waiver that affected either access to open space or affected open space in any way, they'd have to get conservation approval in some way, shape, or form. So that way they basically have to say, hey, these guys are asking a waiver to remove the access to open space, therefore you guys have to chime in.
Well, they kind of do have to get conservation approval, because if Conservation Commission has to sign, somebody has to hold the conservation restriction. You're asking the Conservation Commission to do
Yeah.
that. So they do kind of have to give approval, sooner or later. And I know this should have gone through the planning board, and this is a planning board issue, and we're going to try to deal with them as we have been for the last previous years, trying to get them to update their flexible residential subdivision bylaws so that they work, because the ones that they have right now previously have not worked with most developments.
Yeah, and I think if we get together with them and come to some terms with the planning board, that might help as well. I mean, communication all around is going to be the best thing. So hopefully we can move forward and understand how things fell through this time for us and how to make them better next time.
Yeah, but I'm not saying callous, but I mean, what does that mean for me? So I mean, it's as long as it doesn't affect what we.
Well, I think that we really can't do much as far as your case. I mean, the plan is the plan.
Okay.
I'm not sure what recourse we would have in mandating that it be open to the public.
So I appreciate that. I mean, trust me, I would have, if this was made, I wouldn't have promised somebody to be able to till the land if I knew that this was going to be a problem. Because I really, not say I don't care, it wouldn't have mattered to me one way or another. So.
Right. And like
Yeah, I mean,
David
I
said
think
as
this
well,
goes beyond the developer, and it is probably more of a town issue that needs to be addressed, and probably a communication issue.
Definitely.
But, again, you guys, and when I say you guys, I guess maybe I'm talking about Crestview, kind of work their way into the middle of it. So.
Yeah, you got to bonk them a little bit, probably. That's what I got to do. Okay, I understand.
We would respectfully request that the Conservation Commission agree to the CR that we provided to Dennis and the Planning Board so that we can get it signed and back to the state who has approved it, and then get it recorded, which was required by the terms of the special permit.
anybody have any comments or questions about that? Concerns?
I read through it. I mean, it's pretty much boilerplate. I don't see anything special about it. I guess I always question the term public good when the public doesn't have access to it, right? To me, it's like saying we're going to have national parks, but the public's not allowed to go to them. So I guess I have an argument with that, but that's not with this development. It's with the document in general.
Right, we'll have to be working on something in house, I think, to help clarify what that means, David, so.
Agreed.
We'll work on that.
I think you're right. The horses left the barn.
Right. So I'll take a motion on releasing Mr. Fiore from public asset access on his properties and the Greens East. May I have a second?
Second.
Brian Pranko, what do you say?
Aye.
Brian Drennan, what do you say?
Aye.
And Jerry Patria?
Aye.
Okay, Jason, you're good to go. I mean, this is just something that we needed to find out some answers to so that we can move forward and make things a little bit better for everybody.
I think I, in life, almost always bring out all the little problems that towns or anybody else has it. So whether in business or in life, I always find the things that are not right and help make a lot of mistakes. That way people can fix them. So
We appreciate
glad I
you
could
coming
help there.
tonight. Yeah. We appreciate you being here tonight.
Dennis, you have what needs to be signed?
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gene does. Okay. All
I
right.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you
You're
very, very much.
Free to leave. Thank you very much for both coming. Okay, we can move on to the New England Scenic Trail, Dennis.
New England Scenic Trail, I just got an update today. Let's see if I can find that. It's here somewhere. There it is. Share screen. Yeah, I don't think I can make this any bigger, but
Hey, I can read that.
read it.
Huh.
So November 15th is the start date. If anybody wants to get involved, I don't think Crestview really wants a lot of volunteers because too much heavy machinery.
Hey,
Project manager.
Swamp Trail update. I think Dave has got some, Commissioner McWilliams has got some update on that.
Well, I mean, the only thing is we're still trying to engineer the idea of how we're going to lift it all. So, you know, we're still looking at possibly getting a alternate plan from Doug. But before we do that, we want to get a firm handle on what it's going to take to actually lift the sections that have to get lifted. So we're going to go through some engineering on that, and then we'll get back with the group.
I had Bob Johnson, the maintenance at the town hall, suggested if we did use jacks, not to use bottle jacks, but to use scissor jacks.
why?
Yeah, why?
Said the bottle jacks might not hold it as they let go. The scissors jacks would hold it in place. I don't know that much about it, but
I think with the sheer number of jacks we're going to need, we don't give jack shnikes what kind they are, as long as they lift it and hold it, you know?
I hear you.
I think we kind of calculated we're probably going to need a minimum of like 20 to 25 of them to lift it all at one time. So there's probably going to be a menagerie of jacks underneath there.
Yeah, I'm going to get in touch with Dick Rinells and just
Yeah, we
talk to
can
him.
get what we can get. I think would be the best.
Yeah,
When is he back? Do you know?
it's going to be a
He's
while.
around his house. He's doing very well right now. He's just not
Yeah.
supposed to go back to work and do, stressful things at the moment.
Right.
He can't drive a car. I usually take his trash to the transfer station for him. But he's in great spirits. He's got a lot more energy now, he says, than he had before. He's doing fairly well with what's going on. So you can probably take a phone call, then it's just one. I don't know.
Well, that's good. I can't drive my car either, Chris. You want to come get my trash?
No. You're way too
And,
far away.
The other update is that after talking to Chris, we decided not to paint the handrails till after
Yeah.
later on.
It's a little too late right now anyway.
Yeah, too cold.
Yeah,
for that.
well, with the flex, that paint would just crack and yeah, it's too early. We gotta
Yeah.
do the work before we do the paint.
Yeah.
So Gene has an update on the LPP Saunders. Gene?
Yeah. Saunders sent in actually 2 checks.
Yeah,
They sent in the second one for $430, which came up to like 82.5 boats. And the total collected for the calendar year 2020, should be 20, not 21, was 13,950.
That includes the West Suffield or the Suffield side?
Yes, they actually paid 2,200, and every year for the next 3 years, it'll go up by $200.
Okay.
But this is the most that's been collected for the LPP program since I've started in this position.
You're doing a great job.
I am, thank you.
I think he just signed over the checks that I've given to him this summer anyway, so it didn't cost him anything out of pocket.
It's probably
Chris,
true.
you want to put Norm under new business or old business? Probably got a little book on Norm.
He can go now.
Actually, we did have a meeting, but we're in our slow season now, so I have nothing to report.
All right.
Norm, I did go out to Lakeview Street and make sure that they are within the boundaries that they're supposed to be with their foundation on the second house, and they are. According to plan, there is a stockpile of dirt that's a little close. I don't think there's a problem with it, but I think I should contact them and tell them if it's going to stay there for the winter, that they should cover that up somehow.
Thank you for checking that out.
Under old business, the baseline report for the greens. I'm not sure if we have gotten the most recent version on that, but we'll make sure we have that for the next meeting.
Okay.
Right. Request for certificate of compliance on Granville, Fred Jackson Road. Still not done yet. Still asking for a continuance on it. Request for certificate of compliance at the in bond release at the old dollar store. We're almost there. We're still waiting for the DEP to sign off on the administrative consent order that they had with the contractor there, because that was in our order of conditions that had to be satisfied before we could issue a certificate of compliance. So hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have something from the DEP signing off on their administrative consent order. And town hall access and meeting protocol. Talked to Tammy today. Nothing's changed. It's the same as it was last time. If you want to come into town hall, let somebody know so we can escort you. If you want to come into the office, if you want to go to the collector's office, that's open to the public, but any other part of town hall, if you want to come in, call Gene or I, and we'll escort you into your office.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
If you haven't already, make sure you get down there to vote. My wife and I will be there in the afternoon as greeters, so stop by and say hi.
All right. Definitely.
Excellent.
Everybody get your flu shots.
Done.
No.
All right.
Are
Anybody
you giving
wants-
them out, Chris? You giving them out?
Yeah, why not?
When do you want to come and sign this?
Not tomorrow.
It says it'll be here tomorrow.
Bad day tomorrow.
Nope. I have
When
a
do you-
dentist appointment tomorrow. No,
Okay, so forget tomorrow.
How about Wednesday?
I'll try.
Well, you let
Anybody
me
for
know.
Wednesday? Wednesday?
It's a possibility.
David, come on.
I won't be around the rest of the week, Gene. I'm leaving Wednesday morning for the rest of the week.
Well,
That a boy. Someplace good, I hope. COVID free.
Vermont.
Nice.
Almost COVID free. But you can bring it to them.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Just need 4
Okay.
signatures, so.
Yeah. Well, Wednesday we'll get 3.
Can you
And
send a
then-
reminder Wednesday morning?
Sure.
Fine.
And then
Send a
I'll,
reminder for 8 AM Wednesday morning to go sign paperwork at the town.
Brian Pranka, when are you going to be available?
I have to work. I'm sorry. I've got
I know.
support here.
So don't I, but I can meet you after work.
Okay, you want to meet after work?
Yes.
Dave, we're gonna meet at the Southwick Inn.
Excellent.
Right.
When is this?
Fine. We can sign there, right?
We could. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
you
could.
could.
I am free that day.
Me
Let me
too.
know when you're going. I'll
I'll
supervise.
get a hold, Brian, I'll get a hold of you after these other 3 sign it and we'll make arrangements to meet at night sometime,
I
okay?
can meet you at your house because I can't get down your street.
No, you can. You
Really?
can. As of today.
Oh, yeah. They
Wow.
broke through the barrier. All right.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
open?
It's not done being paved, but
Mm.
they took down the barriers.
Hey,
I'm available Thursday, Gene, probably.
Yeah. Well, I'll get
Wednesday.
back to you on that. Not a
Okay.
big deal. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
Go Bucks.
I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to close this thing.
Then a second.
A second.
I'll be the second. Brian Drennan, what are you saying?
Aye.
Brian Pranka,
Good night.
Jerry Patria.
Aye.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Take care.